I was 22 when Maya broke my heart. She was my first everything, my first kiss, first love, first dream. We met in college, where I worked 2 part-time jobs just to afford tuition, while she drove a new car her parents gifted her for surviving midterms. She used to laugh at my ambition. Why work so hard? She said, sipping iced lattes I could never afford. Just marry rich. It's easier. Still, I loved her. Or maybe I loved a version of her I hoped existed beneath the surface. One night, she said the word that buried me. Look, you're sweet, but I can't live broke. I need someone who can give me more than love. A week later, she posted engagement photos with her new boyfriend, some banker's son with a trust fund and a perfect jawline. I disappeared, not into sadness, into silence, into hustle, the rise. It took 10 years. 10 years of 18-hour days, sleeping on a warehouse floor, missing birthdays, ignoring relationships, losing friends to the grind. But I built something. A logistics company turned into a distribution empire. One truck turned into a fleet. One small warehouse into a nationwide chain. I went from just a delivery guy to CEO of a multi-million-dollar brand. I didn't chase revenge. I chased legacy. But sometimes karma runs faster than you expect. Part 3, Familiar Eyes. At 32, I was invited to speak at a university business summit. The same college where I once got laughed at for bringing homemade sandwiches to class. After my talk, a student approached me, confident, sharp. Her questions were thoughtful, her eyes focused, and familiar. Her name? Alina. Her last name? Basu. I froze. She didn't notice. You're the most inspiring person I've heard all year, she said. Can I intern at your company? She had no idea who I was. No idea that her mother once crushed a heart that now funded her scholarship. Part 4, Crossing Paths. Alina joined my team that summer. She was brilliant, hungry, curious, and unspoiled by entitlement. Not like her mother. She stayed late, asked hard questions, earned respect. She reminded me of someone I used to be. I kept my distance, professionally and emotionally, until one day she asked, "Why do you always look at me like you've known me forever?" I didn't answer. Not then. But I knew it was time. The reunion. Her mother, Maya, showed up at a gala I sponsored. Still beautiful. Still cold. Still with a banker's son, now bloated, bitter, and checking his stocks instead of watching her smile. She saw me and froze. "Vihan," she whispered, "you look different." "I am different," I said, eyes steady. She fumbled. "I didn't know you made it this far." "I know," I replied. "You weren't looking." That night, Alina posted a photo, us standing together, smiling after the event. The caption read, "From campus to CEO," and somehow still humble. My mentor, my favorite human. The comments flooded in, but one caught my eye. "Maya, I didn't realize until now what I walked away from. I just hope my daughter doesn't. I never planned for revenge, but I got something sweeter. A second chance at love, not with Maya, but with someone better. Someone who didn't care how I started. Someone who saw who I became." As Alina slowly became more than just an intern, as our coffee chats turned into late dinners, and she began to see the man behind the empire, I realized something profound. Alina was 21 now. I was 32. Too old for her, I told myself. Too close to something that could ruin us both. But it wasn't just age. It was who she was. Every time I looked at her, I saw echoes of the woman who once broke me. But then she'd say something, sharp, kind, honest, and I'd remember, she's not her mother. Not even close. One rainy evening, after a pitch meeting, we sat in my car outside her apartment. Neither of us spoke. The storm outside rattled softly against the windows. Then she said, "Why haven't you ever asked me out?" I turned to her slowly. "Because I know who your mother is." She blinked. "What does my mom have to do with me?" I hesitated, then spoke the truth. She broke me. Years ago. Told me I'd never be good enough for her. That love without money was worthless. Alina's face darkened. "Yeah, that sounds like her." She stared ahead for a moment. Maybe I'm supposed to be the proof she was wrong. The confrontation. Maya found out before we ever went on a real date. She called me. I swear, she said, voice tight, if you touch her... I already have, I said calmly. Her mind, her ideas, her ambition. I gave her the platform you never believed I'd build. You're twice her age, and you're twice the hypocrite. A long pause. Then she said bitterly, she'll break you, just like I did. No, I said, because she sees me, and I've learned to never let someone blind to my worth define it again. What we choose. I gave Alina a choice. This gets messy. Your mom will make sure of it. The media might notice. People will whisper. She smiled. Let them whisper. You're the man I admire most. That's all that matters. But I wasn't ready. Not yet. So I took a breath and did the hardest thing. I want you to live more, to explore life on your own, before choosing someone who was part of your professional journey. Don't make me the end of your story before you've written the middle. She looked heartbroken, but she nodded. I'll wait, she said quietly, even if you don't ask me to. 3 years later, she came back, 3 years older, a businesswoman in her own right, sharp, successful, radiant. I was walking out of my office when I saw her leaning against a glass door, arms crossed, smirking. You never did ask me out, she said. I laughed, thought you might have forgotten. She stepped closer. I didn't. Still willing to be the one who proves your mom wrong? She grinned. No, I'm just here for the man who once taught me how to build an empire. And now I want to build a life. Epilogue. We married in a small ceremony. No press, no noise, just people who knew what it meant to love beyond appearances. Maya didn't attend, but she sent a message. You were never the poor boy I thought you were. You were always richer than I deserved. I never replied, because I had everything I needed, and this time no one could take it away. Would you like this expanded into a novella, a drama script, or something else like a podcast-style audio story? A year after Alina and I married, Maya passed away unexpectedly. We hadn't spoken since the wedding. The silence between us had become permanent. Until her lawyer called. You've been named in her will, he said. I laughed bitterly. Is this a joke? But it wasn't. At the reading, Alina sat beside me. Composed, curious, a little tense. Maya had left most of her estate to charities, some to distant family. But one section was addressed to me, to the man I once loved and failed to understand. You were never beneath me. I just couldn't admit you were above everything I'd been taught to chase. I see now that my daughter didn't fall for you because of your success. She loved you because you never let success harden you. Even after I tried to, this painting is yours. It hung in my studio for years. You never saw it, but I painted it after you left. It's titled, Regret in Gold. Do with it what you want. But I hope you look at it one day and realize, I always knew I was wrong. _ They unveiled it in front of us. It was stunning. A younger version of me, in charcoal and gold leaf, standing in a storm, holding a crumpled letter in his hand. Behind him, a woman watched from a distance, fading into gray. I didn't cry, but Alina did. The true ending, what we choose to carry. I auctioned the painting anonymously and donated every cent to a scholarship for young women in underserved communities. In Maya's name, I told no one, not even Alina, because sometimes the most powerful victories are the quiet ones. Not revenge, not fame, not even forgiveness shouted from rooftops. Just peace. And love, the kind that chooses legacy over ego and future over past. Alina and I still build things together. But now, we build for more than ourselves. And when people ask how we met, we just smile.